Welcome to episode 72 of Frenemies Sports, episode 1 of season 2. Fellas, we're back. We are so back. People thought we were dead. There was rumors going around. I think, Jack, you wanted to address some things that were going on. We're so back.
First off, there's not a better sound anywhere in the world than hearing welcome to episode number 72 of Frenemies Sports coming out of the mouth of Jake Miller. Let me tell you, thrilled to be
Stop it.
back. People have been making rumors. People thought Carter and I killed each other. That did not happen. Were there fights over the past 2 years? No doubt. At one point, we only communicated via U.S. Postal Service, but we're back on a podcast together, and that's exciting, and I cannot wait to see where this goes.
That was a month ago, by the way, for those who don't know.
Hey, listen. Therapy
So
works
bad.
wonders.
They had a
We'll see how long it lasts. We've entered therapy together. We've had some discussion. We'll see how long our tactics that we've worked on together last. I'm sure there are some topics that we've missed over our little hiatus that will spark some controversy. But as of right now, there's peace over the kingdom. There's peace over the land of frenemies.
Within 30 days of the frenemies truce, I would say frenemies was started up within 10 days of the truce. So really, this 2-year hiatus, you could essentially blame on Carter and Jack. Jake and I were ready to go the whole time. So yes, just addressing.
I could not agree more.
Well, wait a second. Hold on.
If we go back to the group chat from a week ago, it's very clearly Carter and I starting it, but we don't have time. We'll do that later.
And to be fair, Frenemies never really ended. It's just the camera stopped recording. The arguments were always still there.
Yes.
Minus Carter's sabbatical for like months at a time, but give or take.
That's fair.
All right, fellas. Well, we have 2 years to make up we aimed for like 5 minutes for a recap. So I was going to mention my biggest takeaways, and then I think we do best take and worst take you had in the past 2 years. So a couple big things, at least I highlighted. For the NFL, there is now 1,000 streaming services in order to watch every single game. Horrible. We are in 1 billion different countries. Horrible, especially if you ask Jack O'Neill. I think he maybe is the biggest hater of giving countries our beautiful, beautiful sport. Let's see. We had CJ Stroud from Rookie of the Year to maybe the worst playoff game in the history of football. Caleb Williams got drafted, and there was the whole, nail thing, but now he was a baller. Michigan won the title. Ohio State won the title.
I'd like an asterisk by the Michigan statement, Jacob.
I'll add it on my page. The asterisk over the Michigan. With one of the best, we missed so much stuff. We can get in everything. NAL and transfers ruining college football. And I just put Jokic with 3 circles around was my recap. Anybody else want to add in some details they took away?
Well, if I could jump in here, Jake, and let's talk about our beautiful sports going to other countries. I don't like it. I don't like it even a little. And I think if we go back to our 5th president, James Monroe, this is something I think he was very correct about, given the Monroe Doctrine. The Western Hemisphere and the Northern Hemisphere, they do not mix. They do not mix.
Wait, hold on. Time out. Can I quick 5?
You want a full or you want a 30?
I just want a 30. I want to kick it to Hunter. Hunter, what's the Monroe Doctrine?
Why would you ask me that? You could have told me James Monroe's the
junior
president
in college,
in 2000.
by the way.
A junior. Yes. That's not important to me. That's not. It's like one of my. So okay, this is gonna kind of throw us off here. One of my cousins didn't know the months of the year. We asked him why he didn't know this. He's a 20-year-old in college. It's not important. It's just not important information that people need to know. Therefore, I don't give a rat's where James Monroe is or what his philosophies are. He's long gone.
Jackson, back to you.
Well, there's plenty of people that are long gone and their impact still reigns over the earth. Monroe's doctrine should be implemented into American sports. Baseball's fine. World Baseball Classic, tremendous, great idea. The NFL should not be going. Where are we going now? Like Saudi Arabia next? The NFL should stay in the United States. We should not be doing games overseas. It's absolutely ridiculous. And Jake, I think you're absolutely correct. It's an important thing you brought up.
Hunter, Carter, anything you want to, I think, spark your interest in the past 2 years?
There's a lot of Olympic moments. I feel that would be remiss if we didn't bring up the Avengers. LeBron turning back the time, leading the troops. Curry explodes.
Oh my gosh.
Curry explodes in the finals. No one cares about the United States team winning the championship.
I would say the hockey.
I mean, they nearly lost to a country that was like 2 years old. The hockey game was much bigger story, much bigger story.
I was getting to them. That just happened first.
You didn't start with them. You didn't start with them
because chronological order.
No, you're totally good.
A lot of college basketball.
You're totally good. I thought you were going to bring up like curling.
I mean, curling is an excellent electric sport to watch.
Guy, we do not have time to talk about curling on this.
Curling is an underrated sport.
No,
Get the boys
we
together.
Don't talk about,
yes.
We cannot be the podcast that starts their 2-year return with curling.
On other news, all of us are now 21, so our investing arcs have begun in the sports realm. That was a big moment for me in my life. Just to throw that out there. That's happened in the last 2 years. For some others in the podcast, I would say they agree. For others, like Jack is already shaking his head.
Jack's got a little problem.
I don't bet ever. Every dollar I make goes right to my favorite gambling site, Fidelity, into the S&P 500. Never failed me wrong. My returns are spectacular. If I make it to 60, I'm going to be filthy rich.
You are exhilarating.
You are the funnest person in every room.
8% over 10 years. 8% over 10 years, including the Great Depression. It never fails. It is free money.
The last couple months have not been good, though. This last month specifically has been very poor.
I mean, yeah, investment wasn't great. Last weekend, or 2 weekends ago, I'm sorry, that UFC card was pretty cool for me. We've had some amazing moments in there as well that we can maybe dabble into. But otherwise, Jake, I mean, you sum up a lot of it. Jack went on his Monroe doctrine. Hunter knows nothing per usual. So I feel like we just dive in.
So do we want to do best take, worst take? Go around the horn?
I think that would be a good start.
All right. So I separated, you guys don't have to do this, but I separated mine in terms of Cleveland sports, best and worst, and then just overall. My best take, which I guess I'll just... I was in on him from the very start. I was hated upon this. I said he was going to be the best tight end in the draft. I said he was going to be one of our best players right from the start. So Harold Fannin, signed jersey, by the way. The great Bowling Green, Ohio. Best take. Also best take. I also picked him on my fantasy leagues. Jaden Daniels rookie year. Spot on. Won me multiple fantasy leagues, so I'll take that. Worst. Hopeful in Deshaun Watson coming into 2024 or 3. Horrible take. Should not have been hopeful. That stunk. So we'll give that a big X. And then I was not a Shea Gildress, Alexander Believer, or in the Thunder. Got to be accountable.
I'll go ahead and go
quickly. This podcast was pre Deshaun Watson.
Just around that time, yeah, it was probably our last episode.
But I think our last episode was when he...
Okay, so, wow.
Well, maybe, no. I'm wrong on that.
I was talking, like, hopeful in Deshaun, where then he got hurt and then, no. That after
Bengals
Flacco.
Game. Yeah, Deshaun came in.
Yes, you're right. You're right. Yes.
You had the Dallas Cowboys Week 1 game of the week where we lost by 40.
That's what it was. Yeah, horrible take on my part. Should not have been hopeful.
Yeah, so for me, we're going to head over to college basketball where I was spot on with the UConn Huskies going back to back. I predicted both. I won a lot of money in March Madness, if that matters to you. But more importantly, my brackets were absolutely fantastic both of those years. My worst take, or I mean, I guess I'm going to say I'm wrong on this, but happened the most recent. And that was, I was so anti Sam Darnold winning a Super Bowl or being able to lead a team to a Super Bowl victory. I'm still not even sure if I watched the game correctly. I don't think he's top 10, but I did say he would never win a Super Bowl, and he went on and won said Super Bowl. So that was a tough pill to swallow there. And a lot of the Seahawks fans in my comment section were not afraid to remind me of that fact.
Carter, do you want to remind everyone you have your own TikTok page? People might be confused about that.
Yes, C-Hip on TikTok, C.Hip27. Go give him a follow, and you can hear my own portal of thoughts. Jack, I'm sure, opposes almost every single one. But if you're in my
95%.
corner on most of these arguments, you'll have a good time over there. I like to think I'm pretty nice. So, yeah.
Yeah, here, I'll go next,
Carter,
Jack,
you
if
want
you
to
don't
go?
mind. I would say my best take, and yeah, if you don't mind. I would say my best take throughout the past couple of years, I think, is just in general LeBron. We don't have to get into depth about his accomplishments or what he does, but in general, I would say my best take is just LeBron overall.
Preach. Preach.
My
Yep,
worst take,
preach.
I think some would argue that could be your worst
my
take.
worst take.
No.
No, that's by far my best take. It's not even close. It's not even really close. It's ages like fine wine. I would say my worst take, just because I can't think of anything, and this is one of the more recent ones. I thought Gabe Cupps was going to be extremely impactful for the Ohio State basketball team when he transferred here from Indiana. At Indiana, he showed promise. He started 21 games as a freshman. He transfers to Ohio State and now has more fouls than points through 600 minutes of basketball. That's astonishing. He's not very good at the game of basketball, and I was mistaken. That's about it.
You know, Hunter, this is ironic because your takes are also my takes partially. I was so right about Gabe Cupps that a month ago Hunter texted me to apologize, so that felt good. In regards to LeBron, he's terrible. I've been right about this for a while. He's had a bad 2 years, done nothing with the Lakers, got another head coach fired. So it feels good for the King to prove me right again. Obviously, well, before I get into my most correct hot take, which there are plenty, let's start with one of them that was so stunningly accurate. Months before the draft, months, when he was projected to go second overall, Shooter, I wore the watch. Can you see it? I wore the watch for him. Nobody was more correct about Shedeur Sanders than I was. I said he should go undrafted. I'm clearly proven correct after his rookie season. Not only was he the worst quarterback in the NFL, he was the worst quarterback in the NFL this millennium, with the exception of Jamarcus Russell, with the lone exception of Jamarcus Russell. Months before the draft, I scheduled a tweet when I still had Twitter. I scheduled a tweet to come out the day of the draft to say that the Browns would be fools to take him second overall. I was happy that they listened to me, and then furious when I found out they were no longer listening to me and took him in the 5th round, which was a bigger mistake than just taking him second overall. Anyways, couldn't have been more right about Shedeur Sanders, and I'm starting to think I was so right about Shedeur Sanders that maybe Deion Sanders is actually a good college football coach if that's what he was able to win games with. My most obvious hot take, Baker Mayfield. He's been tremendous over the last 2 seasons, made the playoffs multiple times. He has 95 touchdowns, 37 interceptions, 97 passer rating.
Wait a minute.
I'm so proud of him.
Time out. We're talking about your wrong takes or your right takes?
Baker's been amazing. He's been better than every quarterback that the
your
Cleveland Browns have started since they traded
two
him.
right takes are LeBron James hasn't aged
Has
well,
failed. Yep,
and
hasn't aged
Baker
well. Has not gone
Mayfield.
far in the playoffs.
And speaking of not going far in the playoffs, Baker Mayfield, who's been absolutely horrendous.
Tremendous. 95 touchdowns to 37 interceptions. He had one bad half of a season. Does not discredit the other season and a half of pure goodness.
How many halves are we going to give him? And it's not pure goodness. He plays in the worst division.
You guys
of
gave
football.
Deshaun Watson like 3 years of just pure garbage.
It's the arm.
The difference, between me and you two. The difference between me and you two is I appreciate good quarterback play, and for whatever reason, when you guys see bad quarterback play, you say, "Give me more, give me more."
I say,
after Watson was terrible, you guys said, "Give me another year." And then when he came back from injury, you said, "Let me have another." And then Shadur Sanders comes in and looks awful, terrible, horrible, awful, surprising, awful, terrible, horrible. And you guys say, "Give me more. Give me another year of him." That's the difference between us. I want a good quarterback. You guys have no problem giving ample opportunity and ample time to quarterbacks that have no business even being in the league.
So the difference being is, one, not even going to hate your Shador argument, but the amount of time they've been in the league is a little bit different. Baker has had his chances, a lot of them. And just because he has a good regular season stat, I mean, just look at his stat line. Oh my goodness. Oh my, we're not even remotely comparing Watson's best year to Baker's because it blows it out of the water.
In Cleveland, you're absolutely right. Baker's best year in Cleveland is astronomically better than Baker's. I'm sorry, Baker's best year in Cleveland is astronomically better than Watson's. I would agree. Good point. Deshaun's best year in Cleveland is better than Baker's best year in Cleveland?
Deshaun's best year overall is better than Baker's.
That's not what we're talking about. We're talking about Cleveland because that was the move the Browns made. Well, I'm saying the move the Browns made was have a better quarterback in Cleveland, and they clearly got a worse quarterback in the trade. We have to move on now. We can't spend all our time on Deshaun and Baker. Jake, what's our next segment?
Just getting railroaded.
Jackson, your worst takes, please.
How dare we go into detail?
Did I have any bad takes? I was right about the 12-team playoff expansion being terrible. I was right about NIL.
You're saying everything that's good. Everything that is correct, you are saying is wrong.
Wrong. What was I? Oh, Carson Schwarzenegger. Yeah, got that wrong. I did not like the Schwess pick. I was totally wrong. I learned that I don't know how to evaluate linebackers. I only know how to evaluate quarterbacks. Yeah, I got my Schwess pick wrong. Schwess has been unbelievable. Love him. Is there anything else I've gotten wrong in the last 2 years? I didn't see the Pacers making the finals. Halliburton, the Halliban, that surprised me.
We forgot to talk about that. Yeah, the Halliban was a crazy month of basketball.
And that was happening during our crazy month of men's league softball.
Which could be a whole episode by itself.
What the people really care about, the men's league softball.
They should.
In all seriousness, we almost lost Carter to that league.
I'm still feeling the impacts this day. I had to reinvent my weightlifting program. My mother, who works in the medical field and has some personal training, athletic training, sorry if I'm messing that up, mother, background, informed me that I wasn't properly training my hamstrings. So I had to redo all that to get them even with my quads. I don't know. It's things that are too sciencey for me. But yeah, the Halliban was a crazy month, and I'm sure we will discuss it later in some of our games and segments we have planned.
So I think now is a good time. Carter, I think you had a game that we can play.
Yeah, so I feel like this kind of sums it up, and I have some questions for you guys because I have my keep 3 out of these 7. So you guys don't know what's coming. What the hell is happening right now in the Hunter Smith world? You know what? No, it's fine. So you're going to keep 3 out of the 7, and you don't get to know what's next.
Okay.
And the goal is to get the best 3, and the category or the criteria, I guess you're grading it on, is the best moments. So,
Okay.
like, if you could go back and watch said event again, said sporting event, would you do it? And you want to pick your top 3, and you want to feel good about that. Does that make sense to everyone? All right. Your first one is UConn going back to back. Are we keeping that, or are we passing on that? We dropping that? You keep 3. You're cutting 4.
Do we know what's coming next?
Nope.
Yeah, past that all the way back to Ryan Mays in Connecticut. That was who cares?
Yeah, I'm gonna cut. If it was like a specific March Madness moment, maybe, but no, I'll cut that.
Okay.
Let me go last. I just spilled rice everywhere.
All right. So absolute disaster class going on here from Hunter. So he's going to be a little bit checked out. But so Jake Jack, we'll make this the J&J segment. So we're gonna cut that. All right.
Some would say Jack and Jake Radio.
Next up, Blue Jays versus Dodgers World Series. You keeping it or you cutting it?
I am going to keep that. I'll keep that. The ending was not great, but the amount of moments in that series and the Dodgers going down to their last out, or last 2 outs, I'll keep that.
Jack, are you gonna approve that keep there?
I hate the Dodgers, but you have to keep it because I would think that's a top 3 game of the millennium in baseball. So I'd say you have to keep it.
Okay. The next up, the college football playoff, 12 teams, specifically from this year. Changing it to that, being able to watch this year's playoffs, you keeping it or cutting it?
That's a cut for me. Yeah,
Like
I'm
the
cutting that.
format or what happened?
Well, I guess the format, but specifically what happened this year, because the year prior was, I mean, the top 4 teams were just the best 4 teams and no real crazy upsets happened. This year there were a couple different runs. So I feel like this year's college football playoff that ended in
Yeah,
Indiana taking home. Is this a cut?
not only is it a cut, you know those
Mm.
giant scissors they have at unveilings and ribbon cutting ceremonies?
I am aware, yeah.
I am using those giant scissors and I am cutting up the 12-team format to shreds.
Mm.
Mendoza's awesome. Fignetti's awesome. Indiana was awesome. The format is abysmal.
Okay. So that's going to be a cut then. So you have to keep 2 of the following 4, just so you guys know where you're at.
Can I get a 30?
I think we played this very well.
Can I get a 30?
Hey, am I up?
We had a 30 here.
No.
Well,
you've been removed from this segment. You can just finish your rice and rejoin us when you're ready.
Here's my 30, Jake.
Playoff this year.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, go ahead, Jack.
All I wanted to say was I feel really good about where we're at. I love that we get to keep 2 of the next 4.
Oh, yeah. Oh, spectacular.
Well, you guys are really taking your time.
Could have done this better.
You guys are really.
That was a sheer confidence timeout. That's all that was.
You're really taking your time here, but anyway, here we go. USA wins gold in hockey.
Oh,
on a game-winning goal.
Keep
against Canada.
First one since 1980. It's an absolute keep.
The only thing that I wish we would have also got was the 4 Nations U.S. win also was last year. If we got as a whole, that was spectacular. But yeah, you got to keep USA Canada since the miracle.
Now, Jake, if I may, in a way, I think losing the 4 Nations made the gold medal that much sweeter.
I'd agree. Oh, I agree. I think hockey as a whole has had a tremendous 2-year run.
Also, can I point this out? I don't think there's ever in my lifetime, and granted I'm only 22, I don't think there's ever in my lifetime been a more likable national team than our men's hockey team.
I would agree.
I don't hate the whatsoever. Not at all.
I mean, our goalie was so amazing. He was awarded the Presidential Medal of Freedom at the State of the Union. What other team's getting that recognition?
He still has like the stick where he had that amazing save. The
Mhm.
puck mark is still on the stick. Saw the video today.
Oh, that's
Incredible.
that's so
Yeah.
cool.
Pretty sick.
That's so
I
cool.
think me and Jack we're gonna keep that.
Okay, so you can only keep one of the next three.
I
Okay.
really enjoyed the World Series game.
The
By far one of
U.S.
the best World
Avengers
Series.
win gold in Paris. Good. Hunter's contributing here just about 5 minutes late. Thank you, Hunter. You just finished eating that good old chicken bowl. Yep. Good. Get it all on camera too. Make sure we all get to see the cow
I
This
graze.
is disgusting.
I think me and Jack are both gonna cut it. Now, I think we are coming from a little bit different perspectives here. I'll speak for myself, and then I'll let Jack go on his little tirade here. The U.S. Olympics, I thought was actually very good. I thought their semifinal and final match was electric. Curry going off and hitting that shot was amazing. I just with the final two, what I think what's about to come, I think you have to pass on it. I think Jack has a slightly more negative thought about the U.S. Avengers.
A lot of thoughts.
Mm.
I would say first off, I was embarrassed to be an American watching that team. The United States runs
Embarrassed?
embarrassed. The United States. Well, I was in Las Vegas when they nearly lost to South Sudan, who they just became eligible to put a team out there. Wasn't Luol Deng a part of that team? I didn't know a single player on that
You should be
roster, and
ashamed
we
of
nearly
yourself.
lost.
You
So that's
should be
part of
ashamed
it.
of yourself.
I was
are you aware
embarrassed.
of Wenyan Gabriel, Laker
No,
at one point,
no, I'm
baller?
not. No, no, not on the level that Steph Curry, Kevin Durant, LeBron James, whoever else was on that putrid basketball team. You're the United States of America, and it's basketball. It's our sport. You know, it's created in Canada, but that anything created in Canada is ours. You're supposed to dominate every single team you play, like the '92 team did. This was an embarrassment. I did not enjoy it, and we had to have Steph Curry, who's been the greatest player probably of my lifetime, carry the team and save us to get a gold medal.
Oh God!
Now,
what my therapist
now-
told me. What my therapist told me. Breathing tactics. He doesn't
Jack,
mean
what did you
harm.
say?
3-1
that the
in the finals
competition-
against.
Are
What
you
did
an
you say
idiot?
competition in
because I would say-
'92 was a
I'd
little
say
bit
no.
less?
I'd say no,
No?
because certain people on this panel always tell me that the game is evolving so much and the players now are so much better than back then. So by that logic, the talent on the American team should be so significantly higher than the talent of the surrounding teams, specifically South Sudan. So no, I'm good with a cut. I'm ready to hear the next option.
You're an idiot.
Jake, I think you were absolutely right in cutting this.
We can't.
Are you talking to me or
Can we get
Carter?
into evolution later? We gotta get through it. I'll take another hour for you the evolution argument.
Yep. We'll discuss that at some point in time. All right, you have two left. You get to keep one.
Love it.
The Halaban run to the finals.
Jake, can I start on this one?
That unfortunately or
Yeah,
fortunately did with Tyrese Halliburton.
Lead me, Goose.
Yeah. Okay, Duck. I say no question. This is a cut. I say no question. It's a cut. The reason I say it is, if I'm not a Cavs fan, it's probably a keep. Indiana's a basketball town. The run was unbelievable, but that shot he hit against the Cavs after we like blew a 9-point lead with 1:10 left. I can't possibly pick that because we would have beat the Knicks in the conference finals. We would have been in the finals. I can't pick it.
That run, the NBA has been on a really tough run the past 5 years, but that run itself really propped back into the forefront. I mean, it's not just the Cavs series, the Knicks series where the ball hit the back of the rim and went up almost to the ceiling in the Square Garden and comes in. And he's a great villain in New York. The choke symbol with Reggie Miller there. I kind of agree we have to cut it though, but I'm really afraid what he saved up with the 7th pick. Knowing Carter, I think it's good.
My opinion, I think that playoff was the best playoff since the Warriors Celtics finals, where from start to finish, it was even probably better than that playoff. But just you had
Carter,
to
that's
watch
not going to work because
every
Jack hasn't
round,
watched
and
the
obviously
NBA
when
since
the
2016.
Does he keep muting himself?
I don't know. I really wish we could hear him.
I do
His-
too. This
He's
is
kind of
embarrassing.
he's kind of got like a
we have
yellow.
done this for 5 years, and he shows
I said
up
Carter.
with
It doesn't
what,
matter. It doesn't
mostly-
matter because Jack hasn't watched the NBA since 2016. So the Warriors Celtics finals, he's not sure about, to be quite frank.
It's just hilarious. And like, I want to be with you so bad because I honestly, I think you might be onto something, but you have like a green like horror filter over you. Like, has anyone ever watched the
Hunter Screen as jaundice.
Yeah. Yes.
You have liver disease, and you are drinking with your pinky up. Only Hunter Smith. Only Hunter Smith.
Just an absolute disaster class. I'm gonna have to come over at some point and fix
He's
your
munching down
and fix your
on
studio.
chicken and white rice.
I mean, it looks
maybe
like
in the future
I would like
Hunter
to say-
films at Thompson.
I would like to say my computer. I would like to say my computer is not going to work.
dude, finish.
I'm not talking as much because I need to be on my phone. I think the phone is the key from here on out. I will say though, I have a big intramural game.
Oh my gosh, you can hear
I have a big
every
intramural game tonight,
particle
so I'm
of
trying to
food you are
fuel up
chewing
with
right
some
now.
fried chicken
Someone
and
just
rice
had to
and
listen.
mustard.
Yeah, that's the
Oh.
fuel.
Mustard
The fuel of
with chicken and
champions.
rice. Oh, that's your worst. That's your worst take.
Okay. Anyway, we need to finish this segment. This was supposed to be like a quick rapid fire, and instead we have freaking the horror tapes of Hunter Smith. It's somehow yellow again. And Jack and Jake talk. Good Lord. We're an absolute disaster. But anyway, to finish this off, you chose to cut UConn going back to back, the college football 12 team playoff this year, the U.S. Avengers gold medal, and the Halliburton title run. You chose to keep the Blue Jays versus Dodgers World Series. That was epic. The U.S. wins gold in hockey in an overtime thriller with some legendary moments that we'll be able to talk about for a long time. I'm not a huge hockey fan, self-admittedly. I'm glad I got up for the end of that game and watched. And your last keep was the amazing bout between Mike Tyson and Jake Paul. So
Okay with that.
I'm not.
I'm okay with
I'm
it.
not at all. Could you watch
Just
that?
think about it. Think about how high the anticipation was for that night. We get all the anticipation.
I know. I stayed up all night to watch a sack of potatoes grandpa get beat up by a reality TV star.
Yeah.
Okay,
It was
we're
a tough
gonna
one.
we're
We
gonna
should've kept the
we're-
Halliburton. I don't hate the list though.
Can we segue to my brand new topic? Who can do the best Mike Tyson impression?
So no one cares. Like not a single person.
Hunter, let me
care.
hear
Mike
it.
Tyson.
Yeah.
Is his screen like 8 seconds behind?
It has to be. So he's just a disaster. He's
don't wanna
out. So
do
it's
this.
just us three.
In
This is
fear
a
of
good
getting
start.
cut.
This is a good building an audience back here. So I think we should transition into what is on the horizon. I made a TikTok yesterday about March is here.
Hey Carter, can I just say that got me fired up?
That's
I
good.
repost. I reposted it. I was very happy with the TikTok.
And here's the thing is, and I don't know if you guys feel the same way, but you get into, the college football playoff, Super Bowl, NFL playoff timeline, you're feeling good. We got the little bridge. Oh my gosh, Hunter Brandon Smith. That was absolutely foul. And now your face is just frozen on my screen with a mouthful of food like halfway in. It's just disgusting.
I mean,
Anyway.
you look like Theodore from Alvin and the Chipmunks.
So anyway, we get to this period of, NFL playoffs, Super Bowl, college football playoffs, college football national championship. And then normally you have this sort of just dead period. However, the Winter Olympics, whether you like it or not, was pretty electric this year, in my opinion. It was always on at the house. and being able to watch some of those events that I know absolutely nothing about, but getting to learn and watching some of these skiers and snowboarders especially do things I could never dream of was awesome. And then you get into,
Can I give a hot
if
take?
you're a real college basketball fan,
Can I give a hot take,
the
please?
beginning parts. Oh, God.
Do you mind if I give a hot take?
Floor is yours.
The Winter Olympics might be the most overrated thing of all time. It is completely ass. All right, that's all.
Mostly.
Did anyone get
Did
that?
anyone else here?
Nope. Nope. It just it was there.
I'm
and then it
assuming you
wasn't.
said the Winter Olympics was horrible.
Yep.
Um,
Might be the most
I didn't-
overrated
I didn't
sporting event, I think, is what he was going for. I mean, this is just a natural disaster to our audience right now. He's just a typhoon killing this dialogue here. But anyway, what I'm trying to get to is we got college basketball conference tournaments coming up, which is just electric. I know at least one of these members will be headed up to Cleveland for some action. That's a big one. But all around the country, there's a lot of discussion going on about resumes right now. The heated Miami of Ohio, or actually they don't like that, I think. So Miami of Oxford or whatever they like to be called. Not a huge Miami guy, so I don't really care.
Sorry,
But
nobody is.
They're undefeated at the moment. There's a lot of debate whether if they lost in their conference tournament, would they get in? Me and Hunter actually had a great conversation about that last night. We got the Buckeyes, who are one of the, last four in, first four out, just constantly back and forth, as well as plenty of other teams. So we got this coming up. We got the Masters coming up, and then opening day, Nerfies, for those of you out there that are part of the investing club that I partake in. It's an electric time to be alive. What are you guys most excited for coming up here?
I've said this my whole life. March is by far my favorite month in the year, sports-wise. I mean, it's the cultivation of the greatest sports tournament, smack dab in the middle. It starts to get warmer out. We're getting away from the winter. You start to see in the sun. You get that. The first 2 weeks are by far the best of March Madness, and we can all agree, unless we get a great Final Four run. And then we get just the Masters, which is just this peaceful, yet you start to get excited for golf, and you start to think like you can make some of those shots that you're just not going to make a month later when you're actually golfing. But regardless of the point, it's the month of excitement for me, and I'm so excited. But by far, March Madness, which really starts this week with all the conference tournaments.
Jack?
Yeah, you asked what am I most excited for? Probably to invest. Not a better time right now, given the global conflicts. The markets are down. They're going to continue to tank. I would encourage you not to invest in Nerfies, but instead to invest in the S&P 500. Sports-wise, yeah, March Madness is freaking awesome. I'm so excited for it. I'm not excited for the MAC tournament. This is the first time in 4 years when I've attended Ohio University that I'm not excited for this team for so many reasons that I won't get into. I hate this basketball team, and they're going to get killed in the first round, whoever they play. Jake and Hunter are going to be they're going to be in Athens tomorrow for the Battle of the Bricks between Ohio University and Miami, a game that OU is going to lose by 45 points. Very unfortunate. But no, March Madness is awesome. I can't wait. And then as soon as March Madness is over, it's basically summer. So I'm very excited. I'm very, very excited. Also, it's great we're keeping this pretty Cleveland Central today, but there's nothing better than Tom Hamilton on the radio. There's just nothing better. And so hearing him already go nuts over Manzo Grand Slams in spring training, it's just going to be a magical year. Hunter, you want to try to give us a shot here?
From the land of yellow.
Put my answer in the chat. I put my answer in the chat.
I mean, just a disaster class 101.
All right.
This Hunter Smith
I
guy.
also want to include the World Baseball Classic is also we also get blessed with that this year too.
I completely forgot
which
about
is
that.
gonna be tremendous. Fingers crossed we get USA, Dominican Republic, by far the two best teams. A final like that would be absolutely incredible.
So I really want to touch on that for a second. So saw this was happening right about a week ago and decided to actually like invest some time and learn the teams on my lunch break at work and listen to a video explaining the overall, tournament and blah, blah, blah. Because I remember Trey Turner in the last one, I think it was the last one.
You did not do that.
Had just an electric game and the whole thing and how he was struggling on the Phillies and all this other thing. But anyway, Scooble only pitching one game against Great Britain. I know I'm a Cleveland homer, but I just got to take a chance to just jab at a Detroit Tigers person any chance I get, is possibly the worst representation of what the United States should be standing for in the sports world, maybe ever. Like, anyone else have any thoughts on that? I mean, that is just, you're pitching against the worst team, and I don't want to say argue. Like, I don't like the guy. He's the best pitcher in the world right now at the moment. I don't think it's really... I mean, I guess if you're considering Shohei as batting a part of his pitching, but I'm taking Scooble as a pitcher over Shohei.
I'd take Skeens.
Okay. I mean, 1 or 2, 1A, 1B. I mean, he's up there at the very least.
Yeah, top 3 pitcher.
Without a doubt. And you're only going to pitch against Great Britain. I just think that's sad. But what I want to say, and this is a public announcement to all teenagers in high school. When you go to school on that Thursday and Friday, you go to the back of your classroom, you open up that laptop, and you don't do a single thing of work. Don't let the teachers, accuse you or tell you that you have to do work, because you don't. All right? I did it all 4 years, and I graduated high school just fine. And you open up the split screen, you use all your free time, you get your phone out, you sign up for that free YouTube TV, you quad screen on that, and you just don't pay attention. But you still have to go to school. It's part of the experience. I don't know if any of you guys agree with me when I say that. Like, not going to school is cool. Watching on 4 screens and at the house is a good time. But there's something about just like in the back of the class, having no idea what's going on the actual classroom, and just watching all the games, looking over at your friend when someone hits a big shot and your Elite Eight surprise run is out in the first game.
I personally could not agree more. I'll speak for me and Mr. O'Neill, both being teachers, both being student teachers during this time of year. I told my students that Thursday and Friday that March Madness will be playing, so that's happening. So I think me and Jack will both be coming from the same standpoint there. But no, it is the best feeling on earth, seeing my Colgate Raiders at 12:45 while I'm trying to listen to whatever chemistry thing, and just seeing them get torched. And when I picked them to make it to the Sweet 16, there's just not a better feeling on earth. But you gotta be in school for it.
Yeah, no question. And then there's no better feeling when you get out, especially if you had early dismissal, and you'd drive the 15 minutes from Medina High School to my basement. You'd try to get there in 7 minutes, and then we'd have the multiple TV set up. I'll be watching the games. No better feeling. Excited for it this year. My class is going to be the exact same way. I've got a nice schedule. I've got 5 straight classes, and then they end at noon, and then my lunch is at 12:45, right at the first game's tip-off. Then I've got 1 class to end the day. Then I have my planning period. So, no, Mr. O'Neill is going to be MIA, feet up on the desk, watching the games on the computer. Very, very excited for this March. Now let's wait 10 seconds and see if we can get Hunter to chime in. And Hunter, when you unmute, you got to hold the mic the entire time.
Actually, whoa, breaking news. Breaking news. In the studio chat, Hunter said he is most excited for March. So that's electric. What are you most excited for in March? I'm most excited for March. It's like Anchorman. We have our brick. He's our brick.
I mean, that's insulting the brick.
Were you here for this? Did
Also,
you hear this, Jacob?
I did. I heard it. I heard it on my AirPods. I want to give a quick shout out to the actual the king of March, the college basketball reporter John Rothstein. His ability to just input during when these world events are happening, just a random Siena versus Colgate scheduling a home and away in 2029 and 2030. His ability to just tuck those in at the perfect timing during when the world's falling apart and all these big things are happening. He's not only a genius in his craft, he's a genius in comedy too. So shout out John Rothstein.
And could you argue he's an American hero? You know, you see all these tragic things happening, and then you're just like, oh, this is nice. This is what we're founded on. Some good old-fashioned college basketball.
I'd say given the tragic things happening, probably not the best move to call him an American hero, given what many Americans are doing right now. But you know what? He's a college basketball hero.
Okay, we can agree on that. That's fair.
I cannot wait to pick Vermont and Colgate again. I'm so excited.
The Cougs. Oh no, the Catamounts. They're not the Cougs.
Catamounts. Thank you.
Catamounts.
Thank you.
Catamounts.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm gonna mess that up every time. Just not a names
I'll
guy.
never forget my St. Peter's Peacocks. I love that team.
St. Peter's.
The head coach will be back in the tourney with Seton Hall.
The team he allegedly picked, but never did.
Oh, I forgot about that. How he never actually officially picked them, but it was verbally said and is.
Yeah,
one of my best picks.
Oh God.
Should we get into Miami? I think we have to. I think this perfectly lines up into March and this whole shebang. I like to preface this. I wish it was any other MAC team because I would then really, really go in for the defense of them. I'm not a Miami fan. Jack, who will give his thoughts, obviously not a Miami fan, but the discussion of putting in a mediocre to under average Power 4 school over a team that loses one game to Akron in the final game of the postseason or MAC tournament would be the biggest injustice in college basketball of all time.
I'll go. So I've been wrestling with this a lot, and I had a conversation with Hunter. I had one last night, which I'll get to, but I had one like 2 weeks ago. And the way you phrase it like that is the argument becomes whether who is most deserving or who can actually win it.
Yes, I fully agree.
And so, this is applicable to the college football playoff, in my opinion, too. But I think it's different because the sport is different, if that makes sense. And because of and Hunter said this, and this was a great point that I hadn't really thought about all the way until he said it. And I wish he could comment without it sounding like he's in Bikini Bottom right now. But he talked about the sample size of basketball. And so you have this large sample size. Now, I want to make this clear. If Miami goes out and loses by like 12 to Ohio tomorrow, and then loses in the first round in an ugly way, or not even an ugly way, and loses in the first round of the MAC conversation, this conversation, or the MAC tournament, this conversation is completely different.
Yeah,
but if they go all the way and they lose to a Akron team who is playing phenomenal, by the way, shout out you, Zach Halligan, repping the TNBA very well, the headband gang forever. Anyway, if they lose like a heartbreaker, then I feel like they're in. You can't punish them for losing one game close, especially when at that point they'd be over 30 wins, if not right on 30 wins. So it's just going to be interesting to see what they do. I mean, obviously, I go to Ohio State. I want the Buckeyes to be in. But when it comes to, objectives and not letting emotion outweigh it, does a one loss and the conference tournament championship, Miami, deserve to get in over a Buckeyes team? Probably. I think so, at least.
So it's moments like these where I'm glad I'm on the panel. Obviously, I hate Miami. I despise Miami. I dislike Miami. There's nothing about Miami I find redeeming. Um, with that said, they should be in. And this is one of my greatest strengths. I think I can be incredibly objective, even when there's things I dislike. A lot of people call me Mr. Objective. Anywho, I hate Miami. It pains me and it shames me that they're probably going to be in the tournament. I hope they lose. I hope they lose tomorrow night to OU. I hope they go like a 5-game well, they can go on a 3-game losing streak. Hope they lose out, miss the tournament. That'd make me very happy. This is the one year I don't want to see OU in the tournament. They haven't earned it. It's such a sad team. It sucks.
Thank you, Mr. Bobcat.
But should we try Squidward and the bikini bottom?
Here's what we'll do. Hunter, you're up. No one's going to say anything for 10 seconds, and we're going to see if we get anything.
Miami should 100 million% be in the tournament. It should not even be a question. I think even if they lose tomorrow night and lose in the MAC tournament, they should still be in. A 2-loss Miami team, I would still put in over a bubble team right now.
Right at the climax of the speech.
No one has any idea what you just said, Hunter. No one has any idea what you just said because you cut yourself off mid-sentence. You have to hold the button the entire time.
Hunter, his thing ended with him just pointing for a good like 5 seconds. Like he was really pointing hard.
And he's like, it's a good point I just made, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. Hey, it's
no
the
one
best,
knows
it's
the
the
point
best
he
you
just
got
made.
from Hunter.
So I'm receiving some chats here in the studio chat. He is apparently an Iowa State fan. I don't understand really how that's relevant to the conversation we're currently having, but go Iowa State. He also
yes,
says
that's all he said.
He also says go Bucks. And then he actually texted me on iMessages. Yep. And he said that he would like me to explain his thoughts on Miami. So he said, and this was part of the conversation that I mentioned earlier of last night, where you can't punish the team for the amount of quantity they have in basketball. So inherently they're playing more people. Obviously my problem is, and this is a whole separate issue, if teams aren't scheduling MAC teams, we have to find some way to incentivize these mid-major programs being able to play these high major programs, especially ones like Miami of Ohio. Like, could you imagine if Miami of Ohio went and played like Purdue? Like, I think they match up really well with Purdue. I think they don't match up with a team like Houston very well, but play style and just how like they both play, I think that would be an interesting matchup.
I would not have mentioned those teams in terms of like scheduling wise. I was thinking more of like the Minnesotas and the Rutgers.
No, I mean
definitely
that's
scheduling.
Fair. But if Miami of Ohio goes out and they lose at Purdue by 8, this isn't even a question of what we're talking about right now. Like they're in, but it's the fact that their loss could be to an Akron or a Toledo, who just is not as good as those teams. But
yeah, I mean,
ahead.
For me, my biggest thing is I don't think we take into account just how hard it is to be undefeated and have like 30 wins.
That was Hunter's other point that I was about to finish his argument.
Crazy. Like you can look at like I forget which video I was watching, but it was they have no quad 2, no quad 3 losses. Miami, they have a bunch of quad 2 wins, bunch of quad 3 wins.
Quad 3, some of the biggest. They have one quad 2 win,
1 quad 2, and then 3 and 4. But you take even some like the top seeds, they have quad 3 losses. Right. Gonzaga has a quad 3 loss.
Yep.
So like it's very, very hard to be that successful and win that many games
when there's that much volume.
We can't be blaming them because I could see why like the big schools are not scheduling them. Like the Purdue's, Ohio States, they usually already have a pretty good schedule. But like those lower tier, like the Rutgers, the Minnesotas, you go to like the ACC, like the Wake Forest, Georgia Techs, like those should be the teams where you play a MAC team or you play a team from the Sun Belt or something along those lines.
Well, I
And
think yeah. Go ahead. Sorry.
no, I was gonna say it's infuriating because they're just looking to ways to where we get a Miami Florida team getting into the playoff when they 15, like have 17 wins. And it's just not something that anybody wants to watch.
I think it's also interesting to, like, Indiana is a good team to talk about this. If they had a win over Miami of Ohio right now, their resume looks just a little bit shinier than some of these other teams that are on the bubble of being in or out. So I think sometimes these teams, like, they almost just plan, and not every team is going to say, you know, I think I'm going to be good this year. It's a loser mentality to not, but there has to be a better balance, I feel like, especially like you said, maybe Purdue and Houston aren't the best example, but some of these middle of the road, lower end Power 5 or Power 4 schools now or whatever. I guess the Big East in basketball is pretty good. So like some of those teams to schedule those elite high end mid-major teams, and if they lose, they're just not good enough, but they win, it looks really good if you beat a one-loss MAC champion Miami of Ohio team.
Yeah. And it could be all regional. Like if you're the Big Ten, you do the MAC. If you're the ACC, you can do the Sun Belt. If you're in, I guess Pac-12 isn't a thing anymore, but Big 12, you can do any of the Big Skies, any of those schools work. But I think the next question of, because I think majority of people think Miami should be in. I think they will be in if they beat Ohio, and then no matter what if they lose. If they go undefeated and they win the MAC tournament, what seed are they going to be? Because the only kind of evidence we have of what's happened in the past, teams that have gone in the tournament undefeated, winning their conference, were the 1 seed. Now, obviously, Miami's not going to be that, but how high do you think they could be?
I think they're a 9 seed if they went out.
Yeah, I would say that's probably accurate.
Am I wrong? I think they're going to be higher. I think they're going to be like a 6 or a 7 seed.
6, 7.
But like, so they're ranked what, 20th right now, or what's the ranking in the top
21st, I think.
So let's say they're 21st. They went out. They get add some wins. They'll probably finish like 17 to 18. Like, I don't see a reason why they shouldn't be the set like the 7 seed in the tournament, or get as high as like the 6 or even the 5. Like that wouldn't shock me whatsoever.
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting because, and I was looking at this earlier when trying to develop my side of the argument on it, because I made a video on it probably 2.5 weeks ago now, and I didn't really know like what to think yet. So I was looking it up. St. Joe's in 2004 went 30-2 and were a 3 seed, if I'm not mistaken. I can look that up right now to confirm that. But yeah, they were ranked 5th in the AP poll. I swear they were either a 3 or a 4 seed. Maybe I'm making that up, but it's just interesting because like it's so hard, and this is why I said it's different from like college football, and where like we still have to get better, especially in the modern day with NIL and all this other stuff of determining how we're ranking these teams. Because like, do I think Miami of Ohio beats BYU? No. And BYU is probably going to be what, a 6th seed, a 5th seed? You know what I mean? Like it's
right in that range. But it's an earned thing. You earn your way into the tournament. It's not like we're not taking the best 64 teams have the best chance to win the tournament. Right. That's not the tournament at all, and that's why it's so beautiful, the structure of it.
So, well, then the question is, if it's not the 64 teams that are most likely to, it's the 64 teams that earn it. But should the rankings of the teams be based on I guess that doesn't make sense either. It has to be who's earned said ranking because you can't. It's also subjective at that point, which is the reason why this is so difficult. I just have a hard time picturing in my head seeing a 2 or a 3 seed next to Miami, Ohio's name.
I agree, but it's.
And
I
here's
don't
the
know, get us
thing
high.
too,
I think their ceiling's 5.
which it would be electric if they were got robbed and were somewhat lower, because they have a couple of dudes that can be like the Jack Golke, like the one dude that just lights up your bracket, just drills one of these big schools from the 3-point line and goes nuts.
They not only make so many threes, their threes, when they go in, they make a certain sound where it's like it's Cavs Warriors all over again. I can't explain it, but their one dude, when he shoots a 3, it's just like a right in the it's just killer. And they legit don't miss.
Who's the dude?
It was their bigger guy. I'm forgetting his name right now. It wasn't one of the. It wasn't like their top scorers, but their entire team can shoot.
I had the privilege of watching and playing with Luke Scaljak. Maybe we'll see if I can get him on here. That'd be pretty interesting. But just one of the smoothest players I've ever got to play with, and that's how I describe their whole team. Like, he isn't super athletic, and I don't really think many of their players are super athletic. Obviously, they're Division I basketball players, but I'm talking in respects to these just absolute monsters you see every time you turn your TV on. But they just play so well together. You can tell they believe in the coach. Me and Hunter were watching the Western Michigan game where they won on a buzzer beater. The halftime from that coach was just electric. And if you need to go watch it, I'll plug myself again. Go look at my TikTok page. But anyway, it was just an absolute just masterclass in how your teams come out sluggish. You thought you were going to beat the absolute brakes off this team, and you're not. And your team needs a little bit of a wake-up call. You're on the road. It's a weekday, or maybe it's Friday. It's just like a disgusting time to play. No one likes going on the road and on those type of days anyway. And fires them up, and they come out roaring back in the second half and just
intramural game. Intramural game.
Hunter thinks they are a 6 or 7 seed as well.
Nice.
All right. I think should we do our last segment? Just like a look ahead, like I guess a prediction or something you think you see in the future.
Yes, and I can start with Hunter's if you'd like.
Yes.
So the way we're doing this is you got to give 1 or 2 predictions about what you think the biggest headline is going to be 2 years from today, since we had a 2-year hiatus. Hunter's are LeBron James returns home. I'd assume he would mean Cleveland, but LeBron has abandoned his home a lot, so I'm not sure where his home is anymore. His other is that Darren Peterson will be one of the biggest draft busts of all time. So those are Hunter's 2 predictions for 2 years from today. Who would like to go next?
You got it, Jackie O.
Okay, I'll start. I think the U.S. wins the war in Iran. I feel good about that one. I think it'll also have been over for at least a year. Sports-wise, I think Baker gets a Super Bowl. I really do. I think he gets to Sam Darnold. I think he gets a Super Bowl. And
okay,
then,
as long as you're admitting that, because Sam Darnold is
and then
not top 10.
My other prediction, I'll say it. No, it won't be in 2 years. I think Drew Aller's a solid starter in the NFL in 2 years.
A hometown fan, but I believe in the physical attributes and the intangibles. Great guy. Drew Aller guy. I guess I'll go because Jake, you look like you're in thought. Oh man, something I believe that's going to happen.
I'm ready, Hippie. If you need some more time, I got my 2.
Yeah, because I'm deciding between two. So go ahead.
All right, I have a local one, Cleveland one, and an overall sports one. Cleveland one, Guards make a World Series. I think they lose, but I think they make a World Series. I think very underrated this year. I don't know if we're gonna do like a preview for baseball or get into baseball a little bit. I think the Guardians with their pitching, and their young hitting, I think they make a World Series in the next 2 years. My overall one, we're gonna go to basketball. Nikola Jokic gets into the GOAT conversation 2 years from now. I think he adds 1 to 2 titles, plus an MVP. Not saying he is, but I think he enters the
If he
conversation.
has an MVP alone, it gets very interesting just because the second apron is going to have to be talked about, but that's a whole other rabbit hole. All right, I got two. So the first one, I think that the United States makes some noise in the World Cup this summer. I know
I almost said that. Great take.
I know Mr. Miller and me are very pumped. I'm sure we'll spend at least some portion of the summer, hopefully together, at hopefully a big watch party. Columbus is an absolute epicenter. Cleveland is also somewhat decent into soccer, which I've come to learn, which is pretty cool. So I think they make a run. And I really like the Drew Aller one. Obviously, I'm a homer when it comes to that. But that, and then I still think the Browns are just going to suck. So those are my two renowning
Similar
sports
to
takes
that
there.
8. What is it, Jack? 8% every 10 years? Is that what the
8% every 10 years, stock market goes up. It's like the same
how
with the
that's always
Cleveland Browns. Every 10 years, they get 8% worse.
That's what I was going for. That is
Oh,
indeed what I was
no.
going for.
That's what happens when you trade away the franchise.
God.
Well, I think that's a great way to
One more
finish things
thing.
out here.
One more thing before we end. I'm going to put this part on the TikTok. Where do you want to see us take this? What topics do you want us to cover? Overall sports, a certain niche, whatever's big in the world. Obviously, like we said, we have multiple events coming up. We want to hear from you
Foreign
guys.
conflicts.
Not that. Just
Foreign
making my
conflicts
life.
with frenemies.
Anyway, what do you guys want to see from the four of us? Well, at least the three of us tonight. Hopefully the four of us in the future once
He's
Hunter.
getting worse, by the way. It's in the point where I need sunglasses to look at his screen.
I don't know. But hopefully the four of us in the future, let us know what you want us to cover. And otherwise, I'm good.
Looks so bad.
It's like the SpongeBob movie scene where they're on like the that little wooden thing and they've got the light over them and they're drying them out. That's kind of what Hunter looks like he's about to expire.
Yes. And we just need Hasselhoff to come save the day.
Hasselhoff.
All right, Jacob, take us out of here.
All right. We are so back. Thank you all for listening. We cannot wait to go on this next journey with you guys. Thanks for listening. We'll see you later.